Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, dear Tamaraos. Welcome to the Far Eastern University Career and Placement Office Pre-Employment Preparation Talk or PEP Talk webinar series for the first semester of school year 2022 to 2023. This is again Ron Gascon, the University Coordinator of Far Eastern University CAPO, and I'm your MC and moderator for this afternoon's webinar. PEP Talk is a regular virtual series designed to prepare FE students for employment by equipping them with the necessary knowledge through talks focusing on various topics delivered by our industry professionals and experts. And on your screens now, you can see our previous PEP Talk webinars conducted from previous semesters up to the present. You may rewatch them at your most convenient time at the Career and Placement Office official Facebook page and the FEU YouTube channel. Today's webinar is also being live streamed by the FEU CAPO and the Far Eastern University's official Facebook pages. To participate in our question and answer segment, you may submit your comments and questions anytime by posting on our comment box. Also, kindly edit your Zoom screen name by typing in your student number and followed by your full name. For our future viewers watching through the FEU Facebook live streaming, we encourage you to engage also with us by posting your questions or reactions in the comment section as well. You may also take screenshots of the live streaming as proof of your attendance for this activity. We really anticipate your participation in today's PEP Talk webinar. Data analytics is a tool that can help students become successful in their academic journey. It is also widely used as a basis in decision-making and for the improvement of performance of industries and businesses. FEU CAPO presents to you our pre-employment preparation talk webinar titled Data Analytics, How to Effectively Process and Interpret Data. This episode is brought to you virtually in cooperation with the Marketing and Communication Office as our digital media partner and the Junior People Management Association of the Philippines or JPMAP FEU chapter as our official student organization partner. Stay tuned as we discover and learn more from today's resource speaker. Just a reminder, please make sure that your microphones are always on mute to avoid causing any unnecessary interruptions. Thank you for your cooperation. Let us maximize our time by learning from today's webinar. And now, ladies and gentlemen, may I call on the Director of the Career Placement Office, Ms. Maria Carmencita Babezola Alfonso, for her opening remarks and for the introduction of our resource speaker. Ma'am Babes, good afternoon. The screen is yours.
Good afternoon, Sir Ron. Thank you very much. And of course, good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible, Sir Ron? Success is when persistence meets preparation. Sherilyn Kenyon, a best-selling US writer, said. It has been 2 years since pandemic struck, and now, little by little, we are slowly going back to normal. It may not be the same as it was, but with persistence, we'll get there. It may be difficult, but we will be doing things slightly different, but with baby steps, we'll be able to experience what we have aspired for during the pandemic. It is called the new normal way of doing things. Amidst all the adjustments, from face-to-face to online transactions, and now we are going back to face-to-face classes again, we at the Career Placement Office never stop providing opportunities for you, our dear students, so that you can prepare for your future, especially your career. True to our commitment to assist the students in the preparation for the real world, we have continuously provided learning and training activities, even in the most challenging times. We are grateful to have supportive people behind us all, our industry partners, our bosses, colleagues, stakeholders, and most especially you, our dear students. CAPO has successfully rolled out activities designed to help prepare our internship and graduating students for the new world of work, some of which include online or on-site mock interview with coaching or OMIC, online exclusive recruitment, online or on-site recruitment exclusive for Tamaraos or ORETAMs, student exposure to partner organization or student expo, young leaders educational dialogue or ULEAD, to name a few. Now, let me show you a short video of CAPO's activities. Video, please. Thank you. the uncertainties that we need to be prepared the most. The FEU Career Placement Office, or CAPO, has previously prepared a series of webinars through these pre-employment preparation talks or PEP talks to prepare our students to the basics of working, finding a job, acquiring essentials on the know-how of entrepreneurship, gaining higher studies in pursuit of career goals amidst the new normal. This pep talk series won two excellence awards in two different categories at the 19th Philippine Quill by the International Association of Business Communicators, or IABC. This is a testament to CAPO's commitment to remain resilient and continuously provide support to our students despite difficult times. At CAPO, we don't wait for things to happen. We make things happen. Maraming salamat po at magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Now, without further ado, allow me to introduce our resource speakers for this very important talk this afternoon, titled Data Analytics, How to Effectively Process and Interpret Data. This topic is very relevant as you pave the way for the fulfillment of your career goal. And we are very lucky to have an industry partner expert who is generous enough to share her knowledge and experiences to all of us. Our pep talk speaker is the current global director for Ninja Command Center of SupportNinja, a multinational company which works on the core operations and functionality of consumer-focused apps, as well as software, e-commerce, and platform-based technology companies. Her current responsibilities in SupportNinja include formation and implementation of Ninja Command Center across the organization, combining three different departments: workforce management, quality, and business insights. The creation and implementation of the elite quality framework across their organization, leading the team in process optimization and automation for workforce management, quality management, and dashboard/reporting creation, and spearheading the organization's ISO 9001-2015 certification, and working on project management of Global Business Continuity Plan and Risk Management, or GRC. Lastly, in providing solutions, consultancy support, implementing continuous improvement processes, innovation, and transformation. Before joining Support Ninja, she has worked for 20 years in the BPO sector, which produced the following work milestones: globalization and optimization of multiple groups and processes in terms of quality, training, project management operations, business analytics, and innovation. Creation of framework for Center of Excellence in Data Analytics, AI, and Machine Learning Analytics for two of the largest BPO companies. She is also a KPI and scorecard building expert, a Lean Six Sigma Green Belt certified professional, a certified internal auditor, ISO QMS, and was trained in COPC training and quality process. She is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, on your screen, Ms. Richelle Bugayong. Hi, Ms. Richelle. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello, everyone.
The floor is yours. The screen is yours, rather.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bates, and thank you to the entire FEU team for giving me a chance to be here and for the warm welcome, definitely. So today, I would like to welcome all Tamaraos. Good afternoon. I hope everyone else is doing okay today. I know that we just completed your exams this week. So congratulations to everyone. So today I wanted to share with you, as mentioned earlier, my knowledge, my experience in the industry, to provide you more context around how are you going to go through your journey towards work after school. So this is one thing that I wanted to make sure that I share with you today. So once again, thank you so much for giving me the chance to be part of this world-class pep talk for FEU. So without further ado, I'll be sharing my screen. And let me know if you can see it.
It's visible, Miss Richelle. Thank you.
All right, so today's topic is all about data analytics, but I wanted to make sure that I provide you a quick overview of how to effectively process and interpret data.
Miss
So I know
Richelle,
you,
excuse me. I think we can work on the volume. I think somehow. I mean, we can hear you, but could be better with higher volume. Yeah, thank you, Miss Richelle.
Is this better?
Yes, it's better. Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that.
Yes, yes po. Sir Chris. Yes, dear students, Ms. Rachel, no, excuse me lang po, no. We don't need to write or to type in your student number. It's okay, dear students. There's a way for you to get your um, certificate of attendance. No, later I will announce that. No, but that's by answering the student activity evaluation form. No need to put in or type in your student number, dear students. I hope that you can hear me. No? So please. Let's not continue with this, no? Okay, yung pagsusulat ng student number ninyo. Hello? Sige. Thank you so much. Richelle, thank you. I'll be giving you the floor again. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. So there. So like what I've mentioned earlier, we're focusing on how to effectively process and interpret data today. But before we go into that, you've heard earlier what my role is. I'm the global director for Ninja Command Center. And to just provide you an overview what Ninja Command Center is all about, it's composed of 3 different departments, which are workforce management, quality management, business insights. So here on my screen, you'll see here our future office next year. It's as if you go into a mini version of NASA where you'll see a lot of graphs on the screen, as well as understanding the statuses of different accounts that we cater to within SupportNinja. And definitely we're heavy on cloud data. So this is something that I would like to show you for you to be more interested in what we do within SupportNinja and Ninja Command Center. And apart from that, I know that whenever people would hear about call center or BPO, they would just think about being an agent or someone who manages calls or manages the queries of our customers. But no, there are a lot of different roles that we have in our industry. And here I'm just showing you specific roles within the Ninja Command Center. So certainly once you join us in the future, you can be an analyst, you can be a developer, and there's a lot of room for growth. You can be a supervisor, a planner, a manager, etc. As part of the organization. So before we move to the next slide, I wanted to pose a question for everyone, and you can definitely type in your answer, and we can go through them later on. So what role are you most interested in? Now that I've shared with you a quick overview of Ninja Command Center, certain roles that you can have within the organization, etc. So this is the first question that I wanted to pose to everyone. And to start our discussion, I wanted to look at what is data. I wanted to give you that insight on what data is all about and how are we going to process it eventually. So here on the next slide, I wanted to provide you a quick definition of what data is all about. It is a collection of discrete values that convey information describing quantity, quality, fact, statistics, other basic units of meaning, or simply sequences of symbols that may be further interpreted. And please keep in mind that data is already a plural word, and the singular word for data is datum. So I want you to keep that in mind. But definitely data is just the data, and we won't be able to get anything out of it without processing it. And definitely after processing, you'll get insights out of it. Normally, they would say that you get information. Definitely, yes, you'll get information. But nowadays, we wanted to make sure that we get more insights out of it. It may be insights for your school, insights for a process that you're working on, insights for your work environment. So next slide is a quick example, or in layman's term, how are we going to understand what data is all about and how are we going to process it. So you'll see here a lot of light bulbs, right? And they don't light up because we haven't processed it yet. And light bulbs will not be helpful or useful for us if we don't process it with electricity and if we don't plug it in a bulb socket. And in the next slide, you'll see here that there are several light bulbs here that are unprocessed, or we haven't plugged them in the light bulb socket yet. But you'll see here on the right side that there is one that we were able to process and make use of. So that is a way for us to understand why data is useful and how are we going to make use of it eventually. Okay, so there are different types of data that we run into on a daily basis. And the two buckets that I wanted to share with you, and there are different types of bucketing them, but this is the most common, and you learn this from school as well. So the first would be qualitative, and the second would be quantitative. So for qualitative, we have two sub buckets. There are nominal, or they can be collectively grouped on the basis of particular characteristics like what's your gender, what's your hair color, what's the eye color, or what's your ethnicity, etc. And then we also have ordinal types of data, which are categorical, statistical data type, where the variables have natural ordered categories and distances between categories that are not known yet, right? So we can look at how are we going to say that you're the first, you're the second, you're the third, or probably whenever you get your grades. So is it ABC? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Is the status low, medium, or high? So those are the qualitative data types. While for the for the quantitative types, we do have discrete as well as continuous. So for discrete, these are a count that involves integers. So this is numbers, number of students, number of employees, number of boxes, what have we. While continuous is data that can take any value. So it can be your height, it can be your weight, a temperature, the length, speed, etc. And one other question that I wanted to pose for everyone is which type or types of data do you normally work with? So you're students, you do a lot of researches, you provide answers to questions, you just did your exams, especially your thesis or whenever you defend something to your professors or instructors. So what are those types of data that you work with? I'm certainly hoping that this webinar would help you manage even more the researches that you're doing within your university. Okay. And then the next, this is one of the most commonly used nowadays on how are we going to provide insights or visualization around trends in words. So I wanted to also make use of the word cloud that you have on screen to provide you few trigger words that can give you more insights on why data is important. It is important to the business. It is important to our school. Certainly, it would help us further understand what measurements we can do. So let's say, for example, you have your scores, you have your grades coming from your instructors, right? So they don't just do mini, mo, or just give you grades depending on how they would like it, but they based it on data. They base it on the results of your exams. They base it on the results of your performance all throughout the semester. And definitely within the work environment, we also make use of it to monitor the performance of our employees. We come up with KPIs on how we would like to measure their performance. We even make use of this to transform our business. Because nowadays we're heavy on innovation, we're heavy on technology. We wanted to make sure that we automate processes so that we can limit the manual work of our employees, but not necessarily remove them altogether. But this set of data, once processed, would give us better insights on how we would run our business on a day-to-day basis. And definitely at the end of the day, since we are a customer service centric company, we would like to make sure that we provide the best customer experience to our customers by getting insights out of this data, how we can improve the processes, how we can improve our contact with them, to make sure that we provide them the right information and answer their queries. So all of us are customers. We, let's say, for example, we are utilizing different ISPs or we make use of our data in our mobile phones. Certainly, whenever we call the customer service, we would like to make sure that we have the best experience that we can have. And data is very important for us to get that best customer experience on a day-to-day basis. Okay. So this time around, we know what data is all about. We know what it is. We know that we won't be able to get anything out of it without processing it. I wanted to give you a quick rundown of the steps that we can take so that we can effectively run the data and process them accordingly so that we can get the right insights out of it. Okay. So there are 5 steps that I wanted to share with you so that we can go ahead and start our researches, our theses. We can go ahead and start our work on a day-to-day basis. So first, definitely we would need to understand what are we trying to achieve? What are our objectives? We have to define it. We have to define the problem statement of what we're trying to achieve. And then from there, once we already know what we wanted to achieve, then we would like to look at the collection of the data. Where are we going to get all of the data that we need so that we can answer our question that we have just recently defined? Um, and what types of data are relevant to get those answers for the question? So once we have all the data collected, there won't be any answers there. It's not a plug and play process. We want to make sure that we scrub the data, understand what's the right model, what's the right data that we need to get out of all the thousands of data that we have in front of us, and understand further how we can club them together so that when we have those types of data that we need, and we've already removed the garbage data, as what we call it in data analytics, is we analyze them. We want to make sure that we understand further what's the story behind the data that we have in front of us. And then from there, like as soon as we get all the data, as soon as we have the results, definitely we would like to make sure that we think of ways on how we can visualize the results and share it with our audience. So there are different audience that we can work with. You need to understand who your audience are and what information would be relevant to them. Okay, so now that we know the 5 steps, what we have to do is make sure that I wanted to probably provide you an insight what data modeling is, because this is something that's very crucial. Whenever you get a data out of the collection that you've had, we have to make sure that we look at relationships. So this is relationships within data. We wanted to understand, are they related to each other? Am I going to get insights out of this one set of data if I combine it with another set of data? So on screen here, you'll see that there are different relationships in different set of data. It doesn't necessarily mean that all of them are interconnected, but we can connect them once we look for a specific relative field that we can probably put together in one view. So you'll see here that we do have sets of data that would tell us the time. In the other sets of data, it would give us more insights around the products that we cater to. And then certainly we would like to look at other information like the store, if we're working on different stores or branches of one particular company, and then look at the sales. So once you see here, you'll see all of those that are in blue that are relevant to each other. So you'll see the time, under time, you'll see date here that you can relate under sales, the product ID that you can also relate under sales, and then the store ID that you can also relate under sales. So once you club them all together, it would give you more meaning out of the data that you've gathered. It would give you more insights on what you can take a look at and present to your audience. So that's what data modeling is all about. And this is the biggest step that you have to take for you to make sure that the results are accomplished and gathered so that we can get the right answers for your question. So that's data modeling. And then this is also something that I wanted to share with you. This is very basic and is the heart and soul in terms of getting the right answers to the question. So root cause analysis, you may be hearing this in different occasions. We make use of this in a lot of times so that we can perfectly understand what's in it in those data that we gather. So you don't stop with just understanding the first answer. We have to make sure that we drill down to the data that we've gathered. That's why we are really standardizing the approach of utilizing the 5 whys in the businesses. You can also use this for your researches so that you can get the right answers to the question. Because sometimes what we just see is the surface information, but you have to dig deeper. In analytics, this is very key for us to provide the better insights to our customers. So you'll see here on my screen, you'll see the 5 whys. You don't stop with the first why. After you define the problem, you ask yourself, why is this happening? And then you get the first answer, right? You ask yourself again, why is that? And then you try to dig deeper. You ask yourself again, why is that? Sometimes we can stop after 3 whys, but definitely we can go further after 5 whys. So that's something that you can probably think about. This is not rocket science. All you have to do is ask the question, why? Okay. And then the next part is data visualization. This is very important because we can have all the data, we can have all the answers in front of us, but if we are unable to present it properly to our audience, then the data and the answers that we've gathered will not be usable for them. So this is an example that I wanted to share with you for data visualization. This is a use case. So in the work world or data analytics world, you'll hear a lot about use cases. So those are the samples or researches that we've done that we can probably showcase to our audience for them to further understand what we've been doing in the back end. So you'll see here that we do have a graph. This is all about customer satisfaction. So this is an example that you can probably take a look at for you to understand further what information you would like to provide to your audience. So numbers will just be numbers, but you have to tell them the story. So you have to provide them a summary of what you've done, especially the duration. It's very important because when you collect data, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can collect any data. So when you try to answer a question, you have to make sure that you look at a specific duration, especially if the incident that you're trying to solve for happened just recently. You have to make sure that the data you collect is within the same duration when the incident happened, not before, not after, unless you're trying to do historical RCA. So you provide them the summary, what's the duration, what's the coverage, and what's the overall results. And then there, since we did the RCA, the 5 whys, you have to provide the top reasons. Are the customers satisfied? Are you, as a student, are you satisfied based on the survey that was provided to you? What are the reasons that you are dissatisfied? So you have to further understand that so that you can come up with an action plan so that you can address it. Because what we're doing right now will not make any sense if we don't look at ways on how we can mitigate those challenges that we are seeing. I would say challenges, not problems, because these are challenges that will make us better improve our processes and what we do right now. And definitely, we would also like to look at who are these outliers. Are there any person within the group that's really needing help? Not necessarily to be removed out of the group, but for us to also further understand how can we make them better employees, better students, and how can we help them understand further that this is your scope and this is what you need so that you can further help your customers. So this is a very good visualization that we can probably take a look at whenever we gather data, maybe in school, maybe anywhere we go. So with that, I wanted to share with you a specific example in terms of this one. This time around, this is a visualization that we make use right now within the Business Insights group within Ninja Command Center. We're utilizing a platform that is more automated. The earlier version, we just use Google Sheet or Excel. But this one is a view of how are you going to put together the data if you use an application. And just to share, this is coming from Looper. You may have heard Power BI, you may have heard Tableau. There are different platforms that we can make use of. They can provide us different ways on how we can provide the visualization to our audience. But you'll see here that there are different ways. We can do line graphs, we can do pie charts, we can even do tables out of those platforms. So when you provide a story around the data, there are different ways for you to do it. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to automate everything. So don't focus on automation. Focus on the process in the back end first. Focus on on how are you going to make sure that the process is right before we take a look at automation, because that's the I would say one of the biggest challenge of the industry right now. Whenever we take a look at more technical things, we forget about the standard and the basic ones. So please make sure when you go into the work world, um, let's focus on the basic first before we go into more intermediate or more automated version of any process that we work with. Okay. So this is an application example that I wanted to share for you to better understand what I've been blabbing about, what I've been talking about here. I know this is a lot of information that we can digest, but this is in layman's term, a way for me to share with you how are you going to apply the steps that I've shared a few minutes ago. Okay. So this sample case is all about survey. We're big on survey. PSA is doing survey for us from the government, understanding the statistics of the Philippines, understanding how we can come up with ways, especially 2 years ago, how they can come up with ways on how we can mitigate the impact of COVID-19, right, to everyone. Are we going to let people stay in the house, etc.? So here, this is an example of data. On the left side of the screen, you'll see here sample results. This definitely is not a specific result that we've gathered, but I wanted to provide you a more simple way of understanding the process itself. So you'll see that the results will provide us what class we've implemented the survey on, what's the head count, and then the respondents, how many of them responded, and then the scores. So once you gather all of this information, what are you going to do with this, right? So what's your problem statement? So what we want to achieve here in this example is to understand NPS, or what are the results around net promoter score. This is something that you'll hear a lot, not just within the BPO or call center industry, but this is widely used in different industries, companies right now. Even within your school, you can make use of this to understand further how people feel about FEU, how people feel about their instructors, professors, etc., and to provide you more context on how the scoring goes. And this is something that's very important for you to get the right results. You have to understand how are you going to compute if you are working with numbers, right? So there are three buckets within NPS. So there is a promoter, there is a neutral um, respondent, and then there's also a detractor. So promoter means that you're very happy, you would like to promote what's being surveyed. Neutral, you're in between. You don't know if you're happy, you don't know if you're satisfied. While detractor, you're not definitely satisfied, and you'll provide more insights around it. And I just plugged in here how you would calculate it. The most important part of the data that we take a look at for NPS are the promoters and the detractors. Okay, so since you've already understand how are you going to compete for the results, then we come up with ways on how we can put them together and understand how are we going to visualize the results to our audience. So after computing the numbers that you've seen earlier on, we have to come up with ways on how are we going to convey the information and the results. So here, after computing the 20 respondents' results, we have gotten 35% as the overall NPS of the respondents. And then sadly, not all of the 25 students answered the survey. So we only have 80% completion rate, right? So when we have this, it should turn your wheels in your head already. What am I going to do for me to get 100% completion rate next time? So we are sharing this with the audience because we also want to pick their brain and further understand, especially for leaders in the organization, how can we move the numbers up going forward. So that's very important because you have to get 100% completion rate for respondents so that you can get the right results from all of the employees or from all the students that you're surveying. And then when you club the data, you wanted to understand who are the promoters, who are the detractors, who's neutral, and so on and so forth. So here, probably I wanted for you guys to provide me information or probably what are you thinking when you see this slide? So what do you want to know about promoters, detractors, or neutrals, right? Um, and what's in it for me within the organization for me to get this type of information? So on the last slide that I have for this example, I also wanted to provide you a way on how you can give more context around the results to your audience. So now that you've provided them the numbers, okay, what other information do I need to know for me to move forward and come up with action items? So here, since there are specific comments that were provided, we wanted to take a look at bucketing the results and the comments. Why are they dissatisfied and why are they satisfied? So in this example, you'll see that the reason for dissatisfaction is schedules. Probably some of their schedules are not clubbed together. They will have to go to school in the morning, go back in the afternoon, etc. And then payment process, probably it's taking them a long time to process this and understand if it went through or whatnot. And then the satisfaction, they're very happy with the facilities. Whenever they go to school, they're very happy. They wanted to stay there for a long time. Um, and they like how everything else is in place, the air condition is good, etc. And then certainly they're very pleased with their instructors or professors. They're very happy how they teach them. They are able to get all the learnings on a daily basis. That's why it motivates them to go to school. So there. So that's how we would like to process the data, understand further what else we can get out of this. And before I end this presentation, I wanted to share with you or impart with you a quote from Satya Nani. A little progress each day adds up to big results. Because here in Support Ninja, we have 5 core values. And Ninja Command Center is an ambassador of Improve Everything. It's the Support Ninja way of making sure that we do have continuous improvement. Out of the data that we gather, we provide business insights, better insights that we turn into action. Okay, so that's about it for me. I'll hand you back over to Sir Ron, and we'll answer some of your questions along the way. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Richelle Bugayong, our resource speaker from Support Ninja, one of our trusted industry partners now, for such insightful, informative, and engaging talk. And of course, some of our students here already posted their question, but moving on with our Q&A, we're now inviting students to also raise your questions specific to the conduct of data analysis, data interpretation, and data processing, which are all important in your university life as a student, regardless of your degree program, regardless of your level, especially those who are doing now their theses, their research works now, as we progress going to the end part of the semester. Now, maybe we can start with the question, Ms. Richelle, while waiting for some of the questions. Now, why do you think some people would have this kind of fear among numbers, figures, and data? What advice can you give to students who are struggling in understanding data and because that's part of the academic exercise, whether we like it or not. We will be dealing with this every semester in, semester out, and it's really important for us to understand. So what would be a piece of advice for starters, especially we have a lot of first year students here in attendance, Ms. Richelle?
Sure. So that's a very good question, Sir Ron, because I've also been a student before. I know where you guys are coming from. Whenever I see data before or numbers, what am I going to do with this? So the first thing, based on the steps that I provided earlier, that you have to really understand is what are they for? Why do I have this in front of me? And what do I want to get out of the data? So let's say, for example, you've been given a research on statistics of your barangay, understanding how many people are living there, what's their age, and other information that you may want to get out of it. All you have to do is just put them together, understand what information you can get out of it, and then just provide a summary. A summary view will give you all the wonders on how you can answer questions or how you can share with your instructors or professors what the data is telling you. It's not rocket science. You don't have to think of very um, other ways to explain them. You just have to think of the basic ones. So probably that's the one thing that they have to think about. Just look at the basic, because the basic will give you all the answers that you need.
Yeah, I mean, before you go with the more complex concept,
Yes.
the wisdom here is you go back to the basic and understand why, in the first place, you are pursuing a certain study or you're doing a certain paper. Like what you mentioned in the steps that you mentioned, that you defining the problem first and then proceeding with, the other information that you need. Okay, thank you for that, Ms. Rachelle, because I'm sure our students now really listening, taking down notes about this discussion. No, I think one of the questions here, no, is based on what you mentioned earlier, Mr. Richelle, because you mentioned that how can we improve the completion rate, no, whenever we collect data, for example, no, survey, not everybody will answer. In fact, there is like a rule that when you send out, let's say 100 instruments, no, let's say 100 survey instruments, no, only 50% would be the retrieval rate, no, may ganyang mga literature na nagsasabi. And earlier in your presentation, you mentioned that an 80% completion rate na from the respondents, no. May question dito yung isang participant natin. Ma'am, is it okay to continue with the study even if not all respondents were able to send the data or complete, answering the survey, Ms. Michelle?
Yes, definitely. Because a set of data is still something that we can utilize so that we can gather information and provide insights around it. Better lang if we do have better ample size of data, but a set of data is still a set of data. But to answer also one of the questions of Sir Ron, is more communication, not necessarily something that you just blast or inform everyone with, but think of ways on how you can turn on the interest of people to answer these
Yeah.
types of surveys. What's in it for them? What are getting out of them? And why are we getting this data? Why are we putting together the summary? What's in it for us within the university or the organization? And definitely just to let everyone know, this is not for us necessarily, but for us to help you make your everyday lives better. So just think about that. When you put that into your perspective, then it would be easier for you to be more interested in answering these types of surveys.
Thank you, Mr. Richelle. Speaking of being interested, ayan, nagdarating na yung mga questions from our students. No? Kasi now they're engaged. No? I think this is a good question. Ma'am, can you give some advice on how to make proper survey questions that would make it easier to analyze data? So I think it's about writing it effectively, right?
Yes.
So, how to construct the question. How can we be sure po na tama yung ginagawa namin? It will give us the best results and answer. That's one from our participants here, Ms. Richelle.
Actually, that's a very good question, Sir Ron, because I also get that a lot, even from our customers, even from our clients, because I wanted to understand how can they get the right answers from their questions and how can they provide better insights to their customers and better experience, right? So first thing that you have to do whenever you are writing questions for a survey, focus on just 5. Okay, no more than that, because that's also one of the reasons why people are not interested in answering surveys if they have to answer like more than 10 questions, right? Because that's really taxing and time consuming. So think of the time of your audience first. Make sure that you focus on 5 items and what are those more relevant information that you want to get out of the survey. Just think of the things that would really help you with what you're trying to achieve. No unnecessary questions, please, because that will just shoo your audience away and not answer the questions that you're asking them.
Insightful, Ms. Rachel. I think the when you mentioned that we need to focus on 5 questions would be the challenge itself on how to come up with really relevant questions that would really help you collect the data that you need, right? Okay.
True.
There's another question, very interesting, Ms. Rachel. What if the data is manipulated? Is there a way to know if the data is manipulated and how to solve it when this happens?
Okay.
Ms. Rachel.
So I also look at that on a daily basis because in Ninja Command Center we also have quality, and one of our scorecards is definitely the correct data that we provide. The efficient data that we provide, right? So what you have to do if you are looking at the data, understanding the results, always ask for the raw data. I always ask that whenever they would ask me to provide them analysis, etc., I don't want processed data. Just give me the raw data, and then I will start the analysis from scratch so that as the processor of the data, it would also be better if the insights would come from you because you're the one answering a specific problem statement. So just look at the raw, don't look at processed data. That would be the best way for you to understand or to avoid manipulated data for your project.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the raw data, and it lets you, understand and analyze it better in terms of authenticity and the validity of the data. I think it's connected to one of the questions here, because one of the students asked, what if the data that we have gathered from respondents were non-factual, or they just answer the survey for the sake of answering it, right? Are there tips on how we can avoid or easily differentiate factual from non-factual answers to ensure that we are not providing the audience or even disinformation for that matter? Yes, Ms. Richelle, right?
Yes. So when we do our employee net promoter score within our organization, we make sure that we don't just ask for objective questions, but we also make sure that we have them utilize a scoring question. So apart from anything that they provide you in work, because they can tell you the story of their lives and it's hard for us to analyze that data, right? You give them ways on how they can provide you a ranking for any survey that you're asking, especially if it's something that's a service that you provide them. Ask them to provide you a ranking and then a way for them to further explain. Because sometimes if you don't provide them both, and this is also one challenge that we're having with some of the clients that we work with. If it's just the number, they would always, or customers would normally just pick any number depending on how they feel at that moment.
Correct.
But it's better for us to get also the feedback, the words. So they have to be hand in hand whenever we come up with surveys that we ask them. So think of it that way so that you can get the best of both worlds, the numerical value as well as the commentaries of your customers.
That's why it's important you mentioned from your talk as well, and also it's being taught in school, the difference between qualitative and quantitative approach in collecting and analyzing data. That's important, no? Not just answering or giving Likert scale or rating a type of data. But I think when you mentioned that objective questions are important, but to give outright 100% objective question by just answering yes or no would also compromise the idea of how you can really differentiate which is factual, which is truthful, or which is not truthful from the responses. Yeah, thank you for that insight, Ms. Richelle. There's another question. Ito naman, asking for recommendation, Ms. Richelle. Good afternoon po, ma'am. What are the accessible software or application or apps that we students can utilize in terms of using for analysis of our data for our thesis and research study, Ms. Richelle?
Sure. There's a lot. Actually, I'm a fanatic of Google. That's the first thing that I will share with you. Anything that I wanted to learn. So definitely, I'm not a know-it-all person. I don't know anything, everything about data analytics or whatnot. But whenever I want to know something or understand something, even a specific word, I just go to Google, type it. All you have to do is think of the right keyword for you to type. in the search bar so that you can get the right answer. And then for starters, the best way for you to utilize is definitely Excel or Google Sheet. Google Sheet is a free software that you can have. If you have Google account, you can get it for free. You don't need a license for that. And it has different what do you call this formulas that you can make use of. So like what I mentioned earlier, just be start with the basics. Just group them accordingly, and then get the statistics out of it. So even words. So let's say, for example, you have several words, plug them in Google Sheet, and you can get the number of times it was mentioned. So that's a very powerful tool because most of the things that we make use right now are paid licenses, but everything else can be done in Google Sheet and Excel as long as you have the right formula to look at.
Well, yeah. So we would like to maximize those free software first. No?
Yes.
Like explore it, create a level of competence there. Then can also explore other types of apps available. No? Yes. I think Ms. Richelle, nag-interested sila when you use the word garbage data earlier. They're
Mhm.
asking for the context, in the context of research, what particular example can you give that be categorized as garbage data or unwanted data, and how can we clean them up? Ms.
True.
Richelle,
Yeah, that's a very good question because there might be a spreadsheet
yeah.
with like what 50 columns or 50 fields that you have to take a look at, and that's a lot. So what I would normally do whenever I have those types of data, and I just did something earlier before this, is I make use of the pivoting the table, and then taking a look at the fields, which ones are necessary for me to get the answers for the question. So the rest are just, well, what we would call garbage data because we don't make use of them. Like, let's say, for example, we want to understand how many people are there within the organization, what tenure, when were they hired for, and what account are they from. So that's the only problem statement that you want to answer, but you have like 50 fields. So you just have to look at the names of the employees. And then the email address is very helpful as well so that you can segregate the information. The column that would say what account they are from, and then the hire date. But then the rest, I would call them as garbage data because I don't need them for my research. Yeah. So I hope that provides you more context around garbage data. Not necessarily garbage, but for your research, it's garbage because you don't want to make use of them anymore.
You could also talk about it's outside of the scope
Yes,
of the data
definitely.
that you need or the study that you are focusing on. That's why
Yeah.
also in writing your research or even your thesis, no, even in the university or even a project at the workplace, you are very keen on the scope and limitation of your project.
Yeah,
So
and that's very good, Sir Ron. I just wanted to mention scope creep. Keep that in mind. You don't want to be scope creep whenever you do research. It's good to collect a lot of data, but you have to stop. You know when to stop getting all those data as long as you already have something in front of you that can answer all of your questions. That's why defining the problem statement is the first step. Then you can already stop because the research it will be nonstop if you just keep collecting data.
yeah. Then also there are concepts of outliers in the data, no, like
Yes.
those, it might sound technical, but this is something that everybody should know, no, as students, no. Yung concept ng central tendencies, like the mean, median, and the mode, there are data na malayo na, but
Yes.
sometimes we just also want to keep those outliers, no, to be there, no, para lang we can identify the, the boundaries, no, of any quantitative data that we're processing. Tama daw, Mr. Richelle?
Agreed. Yeah, that's related to the promoter, the detractor, and the neutral. So you have to bucket them accordingly.
Correct. Very interesting. Alam mo, itong mga estudyante natin na nandito, Ms. Richelle, talagang kanina, no, tahimik lang sila ngayon, naglalabas sila ng mga question na.
And it's very good, oo.
Yeah,
You learn a lot from data analytics talaga.
Mukhang marami tayong makakausap ng mga students very interested sa data analytics. There's another question. I really have to read this. No, Ma'am, if the data or problem is complex and repetitive, which is better to use, the qualitative approach daw po ba or the quantitative approach? What do you think, Mr. Richelle?
If it's repetitive, and normally the data that we gather for statistics is definitely repetitive. right? Because that's something that we also want to plug in the data, the results. We wanted to understand why is it repeating. That
Mhm.
already gives you another problem statement if it's repetitive, right? And where are you getting the data from? So to answer that question, it would still be both. Better if you get both to
Yeah.
give you more context, because the numbers, like what I mentioned earlier, is just numbers. If you don't put story around it, and if you don't know the context around the numbers, it won't do you any good. But repetitive data is okay. Don't think that it's a garbage data, because it would definitely give you even insights. Baka the repetitiveness is because of a process that we missed to look at. So always take a look at those. Just what you have to do is just summarize them, so that you would know when to start putting in the action plans.
I think I like Miss Rachel when you mentioned that you need to also provide a story behind the numbers. No? That's why
Mm.
qualitative approach will help you with the creating narrative. No? Kasi we understand right now, even clients and customers, they don't understand what they know until they see it. That's why data visualization is there. No, we
I
really do that.
totally agree. Yes, we
Di ba,
call it
Mr. Rachel?
data.
Yeah.
We call it data story
Yeah.
within the realm of data analytics. Just keep that in mind. You always provide, because we get a lot of stories out of the data that we gather.
Like for example, why would customers or clients would prefer to buy products at 7 to 9 p.m., something like that. No?
True.
Why students would be, there would be more traffic on social media. Kasi based here, in our case, no, in social media, on social media, in career placement office, there's a timing also when we will post no, our announcement. Most students will have their traffic around 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So yun, diba? So there's a reason for that or story behind that. Okay.
True. Even coding, right? We have
Yes.
coding between 5 to 8. Why is that? Because it's based on statistics. So keep that in mind. We do things because we base it on data or statistics that we gather.
Yes, thank you. Now, sa usapang career naman, no, one of our questions here from the president of JPMAP FTU chapter, si Joanna, she's asking, for students po that they have their own business and wanted to expand their technological system, ano po kaya ang mararecommend yung tool or platform like app? Sa tingin niyo po, na madaling gamitin at intindihin para makita ang trends and data na meron sa kanilang mga businesses?
So like what I've mentioned, start with the basic.
Yeah.
Ano talaga ako eh. Love ko talaga ang Google Sheet at saka Excel,
Yes.
because hindi siya nalalaos per se. Kumbaga, it's always there helping us. And if you explore those two applications that I've mentioned, you can already create dashboards. You don't need the paid
Yeah.
service dashboard, especially if it's a small business. You don't need the automation there. All you have to do is gather the right information, plug them in there, understand what type of information you want to get out of it. You can even create graphs,
Mhm.
right? So those are the best applications that you have. Don't look away now. Don't look for something else. Look at what you have in front of you, maximize it, start with the basic, and then eventually, once your business grows, that's the only time that I would recommend for you to look at paid applications that are out there in the market.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Rachel. No? Gusto ko lang ito basahin kasi ako, I just want to also know, ako personal, hindi personal na, no? Gusto ko malaman yung sagot mo rin dito, Ms. Rachel, no? Kasi I think this is a good question. How many participants po is needed to represent a group of people, like customers or client, to make the result of a survey more reliable? What are your thoughts about this, Ms. Rachel?
Actually, normally I would say 100 is the best number that we can have. In
Yeah.
COPC, whenever we do statistic gathering of ample size of data, it's 384. But in siguro I would say in the normal world or standard world that we live in, 100 is already a good sampling. Anything more than that is definitely way better.
And the number 100 is beautiful, no? It's divisible, you can do factoring and all, no? Kumbaga mathematically, it's a good number that we can use, no? Yan.
Mhm.
There's another question, mukha naman siyang connected sa siniscuss mo kanina about customer satisfaction. Sabi niya, ma'am, is it possible to use 3 statistical tools such as ANOVA, person correlation, and independent t-test in one study? Is it more efficient or more complicated to understand the responses? No. the studies about an assessment of customer satisfaction using modern technology trends. Ayan, na libreng consultation
Oo.
on the spot.
Okay, so going back, no, let's
Oo.
work on the basic standard tayo. Probably what I can help you with that, or probably give more insights around that. I would normally, and this is very helpful for me, you can Google this, correlative analysis is the best approach that I can share with you in terms of combining different data sets. So let's say in our world, we would look at different KPIs or scores, right? So CSAT, i-compare mo yan sa process time or what we call AHT for voice discussions. You would like to correlate kasi what you want to understand is, are they related? Because if they're not even related to each other,
Yes po.
then I don't think that's helpful for you to gather it.
Yeah.
So,
So,
yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use multiple applications.
Correct.
Better nga if you only use one, basta stick with the basic.
yeah nga, kasi sometimes it might also even complicate, no, your
Yes.
interpretation of the data if you, especially if you don't understand the combination or the correlation of the use of these tools, no.
Agree.
Yan. O ayan na, nasagot na ni Mr. Richelle yung isa sa mga very quick na na question na parang consultation question. Now, for the final question siguro, Ms. Richelle, no, I think I would like to know more on your experience, no. Based on your experience po, no, like from the introduction, we know that for the past 20 years nasa video sector ka, now you are in a customer centric multinational company, no. For fresh graduates po, Ms. Richelle, what would be the kind of engagement that they would normally experience in terms of data analytics? Ano po yung dapat paghandaan ng mga graduating students natin when they join the workforce? What particular project tingin nila na ma-assign that would really require data analytics as part of their tools and knowledge set? Yeah.
Yeah, the first thing that you have to make sure is you understand how to utilize the two tools that I've mentioned. That's very important. Whatever role that you apply for, if you know how to understand utilizing Excel as well or Google Sheet and Orient, then that would really help you a lot because that's one of the usual requirements that we would plug in the job descriptions that we are looking for. And you don't need to understand already the advanced way of using it because we can teach you that as long as you know the basic features of the application. And definitely this is for newly graduates, fresh graduates without even experiences in any type of work. Then that would help you out in terms of getting the role that you wanted to be part of because numbers are very helpful whatever role that we are in. So there,
Yes.
I would always go back to Google Sheet or Excel because that's the most powerful tool that you have to know within the data
Yeah.
analytics.
So for emphasis, whatever role, whatever degree program you came from as a student, when you graduate, you will be dealing with data. So you going back to the basics talaga, no, improve your skills, no, with the use of these tools, no, and of course prepare, no, that research, data gathering, data processing, and interpretation, visualization will not end in the university, but will be an advantage for you, no, when you join the world of work. Ayan.
Yes. And the
May
job
mga ibang,
description,
yeah,
you have
tama.
to understand the job description.
Ayun, correct. No? Kasi, even before joining the company, you need to research for the company, about the company, your job description, what would be your expectations so you can manage it as you join the workforce. Ayan nga.
Yeah.
Maraming questions dito, Ms. Richelle, but we will be sending this siguro na para magkaroon tayo ng continuous engagement even after the pep talk kasi these are really important questions, relevant. But because of the interest of time, though, we can't really accommodate all of these questions. And of course, before we officially conclude our pep talk, we would like to, thank you again, Ms. Richelle, and would like to present first this certificate of appreciation. Let me read the text first. Far Eastern University Career and Placement Office would like to present the certificate of appreciation to Ms. Richelle Bugayong for her valuable contribution as resource speaker during the pre-employment preparation talk webinar series titled Data Analytics: How to Effectively Process and Interpret Data. Given this 20th day of October 2022 at the Far Eastern University, Manila, signed by Maria Carmencita Suba Alfonso, Director of FU Career Placement Office, and Generoso Pamitan Jr., Vice President for Academic Services. Ms. Richelle, before we officially end this webinar, are there any parting words, final pieces of advice, final thoughts that you would like to share with our Tamaraw audience, our students, especially those who are about to graduate and to join the workforce soon? Yes, Ms. Richelle.
Sure. Before I go to my last words, I wanted to definitely share my appreciation to all of you, especially you, Sir Ron, for making this happen for everyone and having me here. This is something that I really love doing. I wanted to really impart my knowledge before I wanted to become a professor myself. So probably one thing that I would like to remind everyone is that don't hate research.
Yeah.
Embrace it, because until now I do a lot of research. Whatever role that you go in, an agent role, an analyst role, any role, even though it's not related to data analytics, you'll do a lot of research. So love it as early as now. So data is powerful. It's a very powerful tool to help us build thousands of stories and come up with ways on how we can continuously improve in what we do, maybe in school, maybe work, etc., even in our everyday life. So think of it that way. Make sure that you embrace what you do right now, and it will help you in a lot of ways once you start working in the business world. So that's it for me, Sir Ron. Thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ms. Richelle. You know that our students are really interested kasi hindi sila bumitiw sa ating live Zoom, no? Nasa 1,000 yung ating mga audience dito. And of course, thousands also na nasa live stream pa with the official Facebook page of FEU. And, this is something that we would like to, be grateful about when you reminded us the importance of research as a part of our skills that we need to develop in the university, because that will be an advantage for them in the workplace. Thank you again, Ms. Richelle Bugayong, for gracing our pep talk event. And of course, thank you also to our students in attendance, but please do not forget to answer the online student activity evaluation form. And then of course, after answering that, we will be able to provide you with your e-certificate of attendance. Those who are watching right now in the live stream can also, send in and upload your screenshots of this pep talk as part of your student activity evaluation answers. Again, we invite you to join us in our next pep talk webinar. For updates, please visit the official Facebook page of FEU CAPO. If you haven't seen it, it's Far Eastern University Career and Placement Office official Facebook page. Thank you again to the Marketing and Communication Office as our digital media partner. And of course, the Junior People Management Association of the Philippines FEU chapter, our official student organization partner. Many thanks, dear students, faculty members, employees for joining us. And as we end, may we invite everyone to join us in singing the FEU hymn. You may stay inside the Zoom room after the FEU hymn if you wish to join in the photo opportunity with our guest speaker today, Ms. Richelle Bugayong. Thank you again, everyone. This is your MC, Ron Gascon. Keep safe, everyone. Be brave. Tamaraws.